What you're looking at right now is over 750 acres of farmland in the northern part of Cleveland, Tennessee. I flew my drone out here because from up here, you can start to understand what everyone in Bradley County is talking about. This quiet former farm is about to become one of the largest mixed use developments in the history of this region. And when it does, it's going to send hundreds of new kids into a school system that is already dealing with some growing pains. So if you're moving to Cleveland and you have kids, or you don't, maybe you're just trying to understand what your investment is going to look like in 10 years when this development is built out, you need to understand what's happening with schools right now. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm Chris Roberts, your Southeast Tennessee relocation realtor, and I've been helping families find their way home to Cleveland, Chattanooga, and the surrounding areas for a few years now. And one thing that I've learned is that the people who land here and never look back aren't the ones who got lucky. They're the ones who did their homework. So get your pencils sharpened because today we're going to take a look at Cleveland and Bradley County schools in 2026 and how things could shape up over the next 10 years with projects like Hardwick Farms underway. Here is something that surprises a lot of relocators to this area. Cleveland, Tennessee is served by two completely separate school districts. You have Bradley County schools and you have the Cleveland City schools. Same city, different systems, different schools, and depending on where you buy your house, different boundaries. Bradley County Schools is definitely the larger of the two. It serves the broader county area and currently educates over 10,000 students across 18 public schools. Cleveland City Schools is a smaller, independent municipal district that operates its own elementary, middle, and high schools right within the city limits and has award-winning schools like E.L. Ross, Candies Creek Cherokee, and the incredible sports and vocational programs at Cleveland High. Now, here's why this matters practically. The line between these two districts is not always obvious when you're searching for homes online. You can look at two houses on the same street, a quarter mile apart, and one feeds into Bradley County and the other one feeds into Cleveland City, because the boundary, not the zip code, is what determines where your kids go to school. Neither district is a bad choice. They both have strong reputations, but they are different, and your family's priorities should drive which one that you're looking for. Some families specifically want Bradley County because of Walker Valley High School. Others prefer the smaller, more contained feel of Cleveland City Schools that serves over 5,000 students. That conversation is worth having before you fall in love with a house. Now, let's talk about what those schools are actually known for. And I want to be upfront with you here because that's kind of the whole point of this channel. I don't have kids. I'm not a parent inside of this district, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have a deep firsthand knowledge of every school in Bradley County just because I looked up some rankings online. You deserve way better than that. What I can tell you is what I actually know and point you toward where to go for the rest. On the Bradley County side, the school I hear about most from people in the community is Walker Valley High School. And what Walker Valley is known for isn't just academics, it's the culture. Their music program is genuinely exceptional. We're talking about a high school ensemble that has traveled to the United Kingdom to perform. That's not something that you see everywhere. And this past basketball season, the Mustangs finished second in the state. For a lot of families relocating from larger metro areas, that combination of strong arts programs, competitive athletics, and a school that has a community feel is exactly what they're looking for. On the numbers side, Niche.com's 2026 rankings put Bradley County schools at number 16 in the state out of 147 districts. Walker Valley specifically ranks in the top 20% of all Tennessee high schools. Those are real data points, not just marketing copy. For the deeper dive on individual elementary and middle school test scores, student-teacher ratios, specific programs, I'm going to point you to niche.com and greatschools.org, and I'll link both of them down in the description below. Those tools exist exactly for this reason. What I can do that those tools can't is tell you how the boundaries work on a specific street, what the growth picture looks like in the neighborhood that you're considering, and connect you with the right people for questions that I can't answer myself. That's what the Zoom call is for, and you can schedule that with me right in the link below. Oh, here's one thing about those numbers that I think some folks sometimes miss. A lot of the districts that outscore Bradley County in the state are places like Williamson County, which is Franklin, Brentwood, that whole corridor. It's a beautiful area, but the median home price there is going to be twice what you'll pay here in Cleveland. So you are getting a genuinely strong school district at a fraction of the cost of places that typically top these lists. That's a meaningful value proposition if you have kids. And if you don't have kids, the next people that would want to buy your house, they might. So definitely worth considering. Okay, back to the 750 acres of open space. But let me tell you what Hardwick Farms actually is, because the master plan is ambitious. And stick with me, because this will play into the schools here in just a minute. According to the developer's own website, and I'll link that in the description below, this is a 750-acre mixed-use community that's planned to include single-family homes, multifamily homes, senior living, a commercial district modeled after Cambridge Square in Ottawa, entertainment, preserved land, and this is the part that matters for this video, a dedicated site on the master plan for a municipal or educational facility. There is a school site built into the new concept, and now I want to be honest with you about what that means and what it doesn't mean. The developer's own site says everything here is conceptual and subject to change, so we're not going to claim a brand new school is definitely coming. What we can say is that the people planning this development were thinking about schools when they drew the map. That is meaningful. Now, what's less conceptual is the growth pressure. This is a massive development, and I know people who work at Walker Valley High School. What they're telling me is that the hallways are already pretty full before a single Hardwick Farms family enrolls a kid. Lunch schedules are stretched. Sports programs have more kids trying out than they have space for. The school is doing a great job, but it is operating at capacity. And here's the thing that's a little complicated. Hardwick Farms was annexed into the city of Cleveland. Now, that typically means that younger kids, K through 8, could feed into the Cleveland city schools. But once those kids hit high school age, the geography of how this all flows means that Walker Valley could likely be in the picture. So you have a city approving a large-scale development and a county high school that has to find a desk for those kids when they grow up there. That is some real tension, and I'm not going to pretend that it isn't. Here's what I want you to hold on to, though, because this is the part that actually matters for your decision. The county is not ignoring this. The school board has already approved the purchase of over 40 acres on Dry Valley Road for a brand new county elementary school, and there is an active corridor study underway for North Lee Highway and Michigan Avenue to address the traffic that a development this size will eventually bring. When I see a county spend real money on land for a new school in response to growth, that tells me something. It tells me that the people running this district, they're paying attention. They built something worth protecting, and they're acting like it. Is it all going to be seamless? It rarely ever is. There will be a window, perhaps for several years, where the growth could be outpacing the infrastructure. Construction traffic, crowded hallways, boundary lines that get redrawn. That is real, and if that kind of transition feels like too much for your family right now, I'd rather you know that up front than be surprised by it after you've closed on a home. But if you're someone who can see a 7 to 10 year horizon, what you're watching is a community investing in itself in real time, and that's generally how home values grow. All right, so Cleveland is a genuinely strong place to raise a family. The schools have the data to back that up. The growth is real, and the response to that growth is also real. What my hope is here for you is that you're clear-eyed about the moment that we're in, because that clarity is what's going to protect you. If you're trying to figure out which district is right for your family, which neighborhood falls into which boundaries, and how all of this growth is going to affect the specific street that you're looking at, that is exactly the kind of conversation that I love to have. So go ahead, click that link in the description and fill out my relocation survey, and let's map it out together. Or you can just call or text me right at the number that you see on your screen, and we can talk about how to live your best life in Cleveland and Chattanooga, Tennessee.